Hey, good morning. Welcome to another series of training videos. This 2 to 4 minute segment will focus on the simplest sponsorship proposal that you can do that pays for your entire Bowling Rewards program. And I think that's with Pepsi or Coke, which you can also use with one of your beer manufacturers, such as Coors or Budweiser. Okay, but let's just focus the 2 to 3 minutes here on Pepsi and Coke, how to really get the whole program paid for. Communicate it with your distributor. Let me communicate it for you. Here's all you do. And remember, when we do this, we create all the banners, the signs, the whole shop. And so what the concept is, give everybody a free game of bowling loaded onto their card whenever they order a large Pepsi. Well, we know the Pepsi is only $2 to $3. The game of bowling is $4 to $5. So how many people are going to order Pepsi? Here's the illustration you give to your Pepsi guy. If he's watching it, he can get it. Steve comes to the bowling center right now for one main reason, to go bowling. That's why it's called a bowling center. So when he walks up to the desk, he's prepared to pay $3 or $4 for a game of bowling. That's what it costs. Well, when he walks up, and if he was going to order one game, it would cost him $3 or $4, and that's all he would get, a game of bowling. Imagine when they come to the center now, and the story is, Steve, do you want to give us $4 for a game of bowling, and that's all you get, or do you want to give us $2.75, and we'll give you a game of bowling and throw in a large Pepsi? Well, if Steve doesn't even like Pepsi, do you think he's going to pay $4 and get nothing, or $2.75 and get the Pepsi? So do you see what this does to your pour rate? It increases it tremendously. You should be able to increase your pour rate by 50 to 100%, maybe even more. So all you have to do is figure out, okay, how much do I send Pepsi or Coke now? What, 3, 4, 5,000 a month? If you end up sending them $3, 4, 5,000 a month more, you double it. Okay, on top of what you're doing now, that's 30, 40, $50,000 a year more you're going to send to Coke or Pepsi. If you send 30 or $40,000 a year more because of what you're doing with this program, shouldn't they just contribute maybe $5 or $10,000 worth of product that only has a cost to them maybe of like, I don't know, 2, 3? And that's more than enough to pay for the entire program. Now, you think that you're losing money because you're doing that? No. The way it works is this. They don't use the free game that day. They use it on the next visit. So what you do is you no longer have to discount your bowling because the value is there with all the rewards and the benefits on top of this Pepsi and Coke strategy. They give you the money. You get the free game of bowling for the next visit. So you walk out, you get a high percentage sale with Pepsi or Coke, a lot of profit in that. You increase your pour rate, and then you load a trigger on your card to get them to return more frequently because it's got a free game in it. A lot of proprietors who give out maybe a couple free games of bowling during the summer to the kids anyway, they change this program to only do one game a day, but then the second game is added when they order the Pepsi or the Coke. So a lot of proprietors are giving away 2 free games during the summer anyway. Just reduce it to 1, add the second one with the Pepsi or Coke, and now you've got increased profit. Now, if you're not doing that program or you need something during the winter, then it's not an expense because you're getting full price for the Coke or the Pepsi. You're loading a game of bowling to be used on the next visit, which acts as a trigger to bring them back more often. And of course, let's say they come 4 or 5 times and build up 4 or 5 free games because they keep ordering Pepsi or Coke all the time. Well, when they finally come in to use all 4 or 5 at the same time, they feel so good about their bowling being paid for, they spend more in food and drink. So listen, when you give incentives like this and then the company pays you because of what you're able to do for their brand, then it's just phenomenal. And look at the video. We have many other ways to increase Pepsi and Coke branding and imaging and all this kind of stuff on top of increasing the pour rate. So this is a very simple concept. Use it. Get the entire program paid for and then some. Do it again with Cisco or US Foods or Gordon Foods. Do it again with Budweiser, Miller. Do it all over the place and start learning how to bring in 10, 15, 20, $30,000 a year just for having our program installed. And then all the increase in business is gravy. Let me know if you have any questions and I'll custom design a program for you. Thank you. Bye-bye.